Good evening. Is my mic working? Wave at me in the back if you can hear me. Thank you very much. We're so glad you're here. I'm Greg Ferris, President of the Forney ISD Board of Trustees, and I hereby call this meeting to order. I certify that a quorum is present and the meeting has been posted in the time and manner required by law. The monthly meetings are open to the public. Although these meetings are public, comments and questions from the audience will be confined to the time designated for citizens to address the board. Thank you again for joining us this evening. At this time, we're going to move on to item number 14. We'll take item number 14 out of order. The board will convene into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code sections 551-074, 551-071, 551-072. No voting will take place during this closed session. Any action from the board wishes to take as a result of these discussions will be taken care of when we come back into open session later. So thank you very much. It's now 6:01 and we're dismissed in closed session. Good evening. Hey, before we officially start, I need everybody to stand up. It's our first official meeting in here tonight in this building with a large group. We're all going to take a selfie. Okay, get ready.
Good job, Greg.
Everybody smile.
Who's got? You got to put it on the wide angle.
I don't say cheese. 1, 2, 3.
Cheese.
Good. Now you can say you made history. The first official gathering in the OC. So tonight we are glad to call this meeting back to our regular order. We'll look up here with our invocation, and tonight we have with us Jeremy Prather, if you'll be making your way to the microphone. While we're doing that, we want to thank our pianist tonight, back here in the back, Jason Caldwell. Give him a hand. Thank you, Jason. He's way over there. Wave at him. Jeremy, we're going to stand and you lead us in our prayer, please.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Thank you, school board members. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Let's pray together. Here we go. God, this is quite a day, and we thank you so much for bringing us together. We thank you that, God, you gave us grace. We thank you so much that we have the chance to be in this room, God. You give us families. You give us relationships. You give us this community, and you've given us one another. And so today, we ask your blessing on this time. We actually need you. We ask you to govern this time. And as these servant leaders who are in this space, they make decisions that impact a lot of people. They need your wisdom. They need your leadership. And so lead them to a place, and even in their righteous disagreement, they're guided to a spot where they're making the decisions that are best for these kids, best for our families, and best for this community. God, I pray for all of our students, the ones getting recognized and the ones that may feel even forgotten in this very moment tonight. Bless them. I pray that culture would not influence their identity, but they would realize that their identity comes from you, and you're the one who designed them, and you're the one who gets to define them. And so tonight, God, we ask you to be glorified by our gathering. We love you. We need you. We're going to chase after you. This is in Jesus' name we pray. And all who agreed said, amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Be seated. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thank you, and we appreciate Lake Point and their partnerships with our district. We're moving on here to our pledges, and so at this time, we'd like to ask some principals and students to make their way up here. They'll also be the first people to say the pledges in this new building. So thank you all for being here. First, we'll have Ms. Broman Vaughn. She's assistant principal at Smith Intermediate, and she'll introduce our secondary student of the month. After that, Ms. Christy Mock, principal at Henderson Elementary, will introduce our elementary student of the month.
First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Ferris, school board president, board members, Dr. Terry, our superintendent, and Forney ISD community and audience for this opportunity to recognize our very own Harper Wilkins from Smith Intermediate School. Harper is the daughter of Andrew and Raina Wilkins. She is a 6th grade student who is very active in our school community. Harper is the president of our student council, where she exemplifies her leadership skills with humbleness and integrity, academically and socially, throughout our community with grace and a smile. Harper can be counted on by her peers to use her voice for good in our school, where she leads with a kind and shining spirit. She always thinks of others and how we can support them. Thank you, Harper, for being a positive influence and impact at Smith Intermediate.
Good evening. Thank you to the Board of Trustees and Dr. Terry for allowing me to recognize the Elementary Student of the Month. It is with great pleasure I present to you a Henderson fourth grader, Nash Clugston. Nash is the son of Matthew and Deanna and a brother to Briston, Kimber, and his dog Willow. Nash is an extraordinary student inside and outside of the classroom. He has a positive impact on our campus and has had this impact since his kindergarten year. His teachers had many wonderful things to report on his lasting impact. One teacher stated, "Nash is a student who has a hand in everything that Henderson embodies as a campus. Nash participates in clubs, student council, choir, assisting teachers, and being a friend to all other students. He is honest and loyal in all activities he plays a part in during the school day. Nash has the special quality of always being able to do the right thing, even when it may be hard or different from other peers. He is one to advocate and use his voice to stand up for what he believes in for himself and others. Nash always gives his best effort regardless of any circumstance or challenge in front of him. He is a student that all others want to be around for his positive and exciting personality. Nash is the type of student that makes me want to be a better teacher. We are so lucky to have a student like him at Henderson. He is a true representation of what it means to be a Hawk. Outside of school, Nash enjoys playing with his cousins and playing sports. He is currently playing up a year with his baseball team, and he aspires to be a wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. Nash and his family are actively involved with Sea Life Church here in Forney. Whether you've known Nash for years or you're meeting him for the first time this evening, his positive and upbeat attitude will most likely bring joy to your day. It is with great honor I recognize our Elementary Student of the Month, Nash Clugston.
Will you rise for the pledges, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
As always, and you can really roll out.
We'll move on then to our grant. This time, I'd like to introduce Kristen Zaspel, Executive Director of Communications, to share with us the Stronger Connections Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Through our partnership with the Forney Education Foundation, our communications team is blessed to have FEF Executive Director Justin Etherly officing with our team. Through several collaborative discussions about being able to provide additional support services for our students and campuses, Mr. Etherly shared with us his past experience working with grants and nonprofits. He found the TEA Stronger Connections grant and helped Forney ISD apply and qualify. I'd like to turn it over to him to share more about this amazing opportunity.
Thank you, Kristen. President Ferris, board members, and Dr. Terry, in July of 2023, a team at Forney ISD administration applied for the Stronger Connections grant through the TEA grant opportunities. This is a competitive grant offered by TEA, and the purpose of this grant program is to support systematic change in the way school districts address and respond to bullying, violence, and acts of hate. Supporting the academic and non-academic needs of students by providing safe, inclusive, and supportive learning environments which will result in improved academic achievement as well as mental, behavioral, emotional, and physical health and well-being of students. This grant will provide funding for the following 2 school years through 2026. In November of 2023, we were notified that we were awarded our requested funding amount of $1,450,000. I ask that you please accept this awarded amount of $1,450,000 to begin implementing this program for school year 2024 through 2025 and 2025 through 2026.
Thank you.
At this time, I believe we have some of our staff that are participating in this grant. Absolutely amazing. $1 million, almost $5 million, that we're going to be able to help support our kids and our staff here in Forney ISD. So we'll invite them up to the front, and we'd like to have a photo. Thank you, guys.
Then moving on to item number 5A, Ms. Kristen Zaspel again.
Because it's a grant, not a donation.
We do have a little video, but while they're working on this, I'll go ahead and proceed with the next part. I'm going to move this over. Is that okay, Kim? So January is known each year as School Board Recognition Month, and Forney ISD is celebrating its trustees for their dedication and commitment to to the students in the district of Forney ISD. The theme of this year's School Board Recognition Month is Locally Elected, Community Connected, which highlights the connection between school trustees and their communities. School board members are the largest group of locally elected officials in the state. Our board members are vital. Their dedication, vision, and commitment shape the future of schools and students. We'll share a short video in just a moment, but for now, we hope you enjoy the cards and the banners made from students at our campuses. And at your place tonight, there is a book that will be given to our elementary schools in your honor called If You Ever Want to Bring an Alligator to School, Don't. So these will be in all of our elementary campuses with the insignia that it was given in honor of the board. You also have a copy to take home to your family. So at this time, I would like to call each of you forward, and we have some of our students to present an additional gift for you this evening, a special treat from Bloom's, our student-run floral shop, and the local, our student-run restaurant. I'd like to start with our president, Mr. Greg Ferris. Our vice president, Mr. Chad Johnson. Our secretary, Mrs. Becky Dobbs. Board member, Mrs. Hannah Bateman. Board member, Mrs. Katrina Burkhalter. Board member, Dr. Michael Idamudia. And board member, Mr. Scott Regan.
Oop, I'm out of the way. Before you guys step away, if you'll just hold right there, we do have a special video. And before we hit play, I just take 2 seconds just to tell you a little bit more about this team. The key to this group is the word team. Most of the time I get included in this as the team of 8, but what you don't know is their paychecks every month are not very high. In fact, they don't get paid at all. And what you don't, if you're not aware, is what you see behind you and the notes that we receive from our students is the best pay that they could ever receive. I just wanted to stand here and tell you how blessed we are as a community, as a school district, to have 7 people up here that really truly do have hearts for kids. The decisions that each and every one of them make as a team, as we move forward every year, are truly driven by what's best for kids. Not many school districts can say that across the state of Texas, but I just wanted to say thank you for the blessing that I have to work with you, but also the blessing you are to our school district and our community. So now I'm going to ask you to stand and watch this video. Maybe I'll let you sit down and then it'll play after that. So let's give them one more big round of applause as we try and get our video loaded.
This is so much fun.
You know, all the technology worked at 5. It worked an hour ago.
And on Friday.
Sorry.
Why don't we, we'll let you guys keep working. We'll move on to the next one and we'll play that video here in just a little bit. Mr. Ferris?
Okay. Let's move on then to student recognitions. Item B, we're starting with athletics. Mr. Neil Weaver, if you would make your way to the microphone, please. This time, Neil Weaver, athletic director, would like to make some introductions, and we're starting with cross country.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris, Dr. Terry, members of the board. And yes, it is my pleasure. It is always an honor and a blessing to be able to recognize some of the great student athletes in our school district. I'm sorry you wanted an entertaining video. You got me, but we got some great young people coming up here. The first student athlete, we may set a record here tonight, by the way. This is, I believe, the largest group of student athletes that I've ever had the pleasure of recognizing at a board meeting. We're going to begin with our academic all-state award winners. These student athletes have been recognized by the Texas High School Coaches Association and the Texas Girls Coaches Association for a few things, scholarship being one of those things. Their GPA is taken into account. They have to have a 92 or above overall GPA. Their SAT and ACT scores. They have to make a significant contribution to a varsity team, and in this case, all 4 of these teams are absolutely accomplished, and their character and their citizenship are taken into account. We know those are just as important. Starting with Coach Sandy Cook and her Forney High School cross country academic all-state award winners. This is Ryan Syracuse and Ihinosin Ohizua. Thank you much. And Sandy and her kids all the way to state this year themselves. All-State Academic North Forney High School cross country. Coach Jeremy Moore is here with his student athletes. Oswaldo Flores, Gabriel Gothua, who is in Kenya and couldn't be here tonight with us, Melissa Hancock, Ellen Van Canagem, and Jessica Guardiola. Congratulations and thank you. Appreciate it, Coach. Next, our North Forney High School Academic All-State Award winners from football. This also includes a couple of our student athletic trainers from football, another team that had a tremendous year this year. Coach Eric Luster is accompanying his student athletes, Joshua Wesson, Naomi Alexander, Edward Reyes, Rosier Burns, Monicia Four, and Ben Durrett. Great year for the Falcons. Coach Luster, 6A playoff berth and first 6A win. Congratulations to their team and their kids. And for Forney High School, Coach Jeff Fleener has a group of academic all-state award winners here. Luke Rodriguez, J.C. Reese, Mariana Pena, John Paul Akanaga, Dryden Bird, Hassan Saad, Tristan Bennett, Jackson Barwick, Cole Williams, Jackson Badgley, Kyle Crawford, Kellen Wolverton, LaDatrick Robinson Jr., Easton McMillan, and Matthew Diosdado. While they're taking their picture, I probably should have pointed out all these academic all-state award winners are seniors. We have scholars throughout our ranks among all of our teams. These seniors are going to hold the floor for just a second because, as I said, we've got another big group to recognize this evening. And it's always a special pleasure when we get to recognize an entire team that represents Forney ISD, and in this case, Forney High School, at the state level. The Jackrabbit football team, as you all are certainly aware, were state semifinalists this year. Tremendous season for the Jackrabbits. A high water mark in about 20 years, and we're super proud of them. I would love to be able to call them all out individually, but it would take a long time, so we're going to recognize the rest of the Jackrabbits coming out to join us. With a trophy, no less.
We're going to hold and let it take as many photos as you want tonight.
At least get your face in there. Shove your way in if you have to go.
Yes. Do I need to go down? No. Okay. Oh, yeah, I know.
Left and around the back, I think. That's how everybody else is going.
Thank you, Jackrabbits. One more time, congratulations to the Forney Jackrabbits and Coach Jeff Fleener.
Great season, and thank you all for coming tonight. This was a great turnout. Thank you, parents, for taking time to come as well.
I think we have a video loaded now of their escorting out, finally. We're going to go backwards if that's okay.
It's a hard act to follow.
Do it?
It's a hard act to follow.
Yeah.
One more time.
We're going to back up here. Kristen Zastapel has some more information to share. Ms. Zastapel, we'll turn it back over to you.
Forney ISD Board of Trustees, thank you. Thank you for your dedication and hard work. Thank you for putting students first. Thank you for your commitment to our successful future. You make sure we have the resources we need and empower us to succeed at every level. Your leadership guides us and shows us what it means to lead and be a leader. We appreciate all that you do for our Forney family. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for making our future your passion.
Okay, moving on to our next item then, will be our State and National Thespian Awards. Ms. Janae Glanton, Coordinator of Fine Arts, would you please come to the microphone?
Good evening, board members. Dr. Terry, we are delighted to join you this evening. The Forney ISD Fine Arts Department is proud to share the recent accomplishments of our middle school and high school thespians. Our theater students recently competed in the Texas Thespians State Festival and Thespi Contest, or the EDTA, International Thespian Excellence Awards. Texas Thespians is an affiliate of the Educational Theater Association and includes numerous branches which offer multiple opportunities to Texas theater educators and middle school and high school students throughout the state. Students may enter the Thespi EDTA International Thespian Excellence Awards competitions at the Texas Thespian State Festival in areas such as solo musical, group acting, duet acting, stage management, lighting design, and much more. This year was the first year that all 3 middle schools and both high schools received superior recognitions. We are delighted to share that our FISD thespians received the following honors at Texas Thespian State Festival and the Thespi Contest, as you will see on our board. First up, earning superior and national performance qualification, the highest honor in these events, North Forney High School. Congratulations to our North Forney Falcons. Earning superior and national performance qualification, again the highest honor at this event, Forney High School. Forney High School was also invited to perform Mockingbird in the Texas Thespian State Play Marathon Division. This is the first Forney ISD performance at a Texas Thespian State event. Congratulations to our Forney Thespians. Our next group, earning superior national performance qualification, our Warren Middle School Thespians.
Two rows.
Congratulations to our Warren Thespians. Earning superior and national performance qualification, our first ever award winners from Jackson Middle School. Congratulations, students. And earning superior and national performance qualification from Brown Middle School. All of our Thespian students earning these honors have received a superior pin from Texas Thespians, feedback from a panel of judges, and are qualified to perform again at the Educational Theater Association's National Conference, should they wish to attend. Congratulations to our students. We are very proud of your hard work and dedication.
Congratulations, students. Let's continue this now with moving on to item number 4. I'd like to call Ms. Mel Harlan to the microphone, Director of GT and Advanced Academics.
Good evening, School Board. Dr. Terry, so excited to be here. The award that I get to award this evening is so rare that in 23 years of being in education, I have never met a student that accomplished this. I've heard of it, but never had it actually happen. So, Okikiola Peace Abalude scored a perfect 1,600 on the SAT. To give you an idea of how rare this is, less than 0.5% of the population scores this well on the SAT.
I would think that's a first for Forney ISD also. Lots of firsts tonight. That's awesome. Moving on then to our Forney Family Student Award, Ms. Sarah Smith.
Good evening, Dr. Terry, Mr. Ferris, and members of the board. I'm very honored to stand up here tonight to present a Forney Family Award. I actually just heard from Ms. Zestvold that we give out very few of these to individuals. This is kind of, in a way, when we plan CTE classes, we really want students to take what they learn in their class and use it. This way is a little bit different, but this student on Thanksgiving break had just learned in her class in disaster response how to administer CPR, and she actually jumped in when a individual that was stopped at a gas station, they were on, I believe, a family vacation, she actually stepped in when a man collapsed and started performing life-saving CPR to this individual until the paramedics were able to arrive. So we are presenting this award tonight to Miss Carolee Deason, who, if you'll come up here, so we can give you this award along with her teacher, Mr. Cook.
It's so amazing. We're hearing academic awards, athletic awards, and then someone who's giving life support to someone. I mean, think about all the things our students are accomplishing. Moving on here, we have some very special adults that are going to be recognized tonight. Our Forney Academic to Certified Teachers Recognition. Ms. Leslie Rader, would you please come to the microphone?
The FACT program was created to provide a pathway to teaching for Forney ISD's most highly trained paraprofessionals. When a paraprofessional accepts the role of a teacher intern, they are committing to a full-time teaching position as well as a full college course load. Each teacher intern is supported by an instructional coach and a mentor, and we have partners at Indiana Wesleyan University as well as Teachworthy who provide coursework and guidance to our employees as they work toward their bachelor's degree. Tonight, we are presenting 9 FACT-equipped candidates for recognition for their recent graduation. We're proud to honor their dedication and commitment to our students and to themselves along this journey. We're joined tonight by our IWU representative, Shanna Brown, the Director of Educational Partnerships. Please join me in congratulating the following teachers on earning their bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies from Indiana Wesleyan University. Lauren Andino, Carissa Dykeman. Margaret Fernandez. Jennifer Chandler. Brenda Goodson. Cynthia Plant. Brittany Taylor. And although they could not join us tonight, we would still like to recognize Megan Aldridge and Amanda Calder as well. And we have our FACT instructional coaches. If you'll please join us for our picture.
Congratulations to you all. This is exciting. These are life-changing moments right here, people. Thank you. Moving on then to our Leadership Academy recognitions. Dr. Stormy Lamont.
Good evening, President Ferris, Dr. Terry, and the Forney ISD School Board. Thank you for this opportunity to pause and acknowledge this exceptional group of leaders. The 2023 Leadership Academy started 1 year ago in January and was comprised of 2 cohorts, master teachers and aspiring administrators. The master teacher cohort, led by Ms. Rachel Bonner, has spent the year focusing on moving from good to great within the teacher evaluation rubric. The aspiring administrators cohort was led by Dr. Campbell, Mrs. Courtney Rodriguez, and myself, and we dove into the various facets of being a campus principal, hearing from current district leaders while collaborating and brainstorming through various hypothetical situations. Over the course of the year, participants in both cohorts worked towards a culminating project and showcased those in December to their peers, current campus leaders, and some of our 2024 Leadership Academy participants, all while continuing to balance their roles and responsibilities as educators within our district. Today, we pause to recognize their efforts and to present to you this exceptional group of leaders that continues to make a positive impact in our district. I'm going to call them out. I'm also going to ask if Rachel, Dr. Campbell, and Courtney will join us just to shake hands and say thank you. So our aspiring administrators are Erica Billings, Kayla Blaine, Sarah Denny, Will Foster, Micah Goldsmith, Jennifer Huggins, Samara Levy, Christina May, Maria Moore, John Newton, Adelie Oldacre, Yolanda Prim, Angelica Province, Whitney Pruitt, Jill Smith, Stacy Warren, Amanda Wisdom, and our master teacher cohort included Amanda Abercrombie, Mary Brown, Andre Garcia, Brandy Gomez, Taylor Jeffs, Ashley Mays, Christy Perkins, Julie Peters, and Jaden Wheeler. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Chat.
We continue with our great groups to recognize here, moving on to community and business partners. First, we'll have our Angel Tree recognitions. Ms. Kristen Zaspel will introduce those.
Thank you. I've had the honor of working with our Forney Lions Club just the past couple of years with Angel Tree, but you can't mention the word Angel Tree without thinking of our Lions Club. I believe they were trying to keep count. I've heard over 30 years, but I believe it's 32 years marked this year that they have been helping support angels in our community for Christmas. And so those numbers grew small at first to now we served almost 1,000 angels this year. So our Lions have been dedicated to helping pull other partners together, churches. We had a lot of student volunteers help us get all those gifts out this year. But I would love to recognize them for their partnership and help make this possible for 1,000 of our students in our district this year. So we have several of the Lions here we'd like to invite up to join us this evening, and just thank them once again for their continued partnership with the Angel Tree program.
We're so thankful for our Lions Club, and I'm proud to be a member, and we appreciate all these hardworking people here. Thank you for coming tonight. Moving on next, we're going to move to our Opportunity Central Partnerships. Ms. Susan Johnson, Executive Director of Strategic Partnerships, will introduce them.
Thank you, President Ferris, Dr. Terry, and Board. As you know, the Opportunity Central is designed to provide an innovative and purpose-driven career education. One way we are offering innovative opportunities includes our very important partnerships with industry leaders. Tonight, we are proud to announce a collaboration of a higher education partner, Indiana Wesleyan University and Huckabee Architects. Together, Huckabee and IWU are excited to bring an immersive environment to the OC that will support student learning, educator development, and community entertainment. This learning experience lab at the OC, they are calling the Lex Lab Immersive. I'd like to welcome Kate Dunphy with Huckabee and Shanna Brown with IWU. They are here this evening to make this official. Thank you. And next we have yet another sponsorship. Assembly Required is the name of the makerspace at the OC. A creative makerspace is full of the latest materials and tools to inspire and engage students to design and create. The Forney Education Foundation is interested in sponsoring this educational endeavor and innovative space. I would like to call Justin Etherly up, the Executive Director of the Forney Education Foundation.
Thank you, Susan. President Ferris, board members, and Dr. Terry, I am now representing the Forney Education Foundation and would like to extend my gratitude to the Forney ISD leadership team for allowing the foundation this opportunity to partner with the OC. This facility aligns perfectly with our mission to provide opportunities for excellence in education, promote innovation in teaching, and partner with the community to enhance the quality of learning for all students. We believe this innovation lab and makerspace is a great investment in our students to inspire invention, creation, dreaming, engineering, experimenting, and enrichment. I ask that you please accept this investment of $100,000 for the initial equipment and design for Assembly Required.
Thank you, Justin. Board, because of the size of this donation, we need to have a motion to accept this donation. Do I hear a motion from the board?
Mr. Ferris, I make
We have a motion by Ms. Bateman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Ms. Burkhalter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. Thank you.
If we can get the board to join us.
Did you call the recess? Did you call for recess?
First, second.
Yes. I'm still reading, baby. I'm still reading. How you doing, Tracy?
They're leaving on their own anyway.
Oh, yeah, sure. You're in the front row. What's the time?
Wait, he's not. Okay.
Well, I do.
Gotcha.
I just couldn't hear myself talking.
Thank you, visitors, for being here. We're going to continue on with staff with our agenda. Moving on to item number 6, our reports. Mr. John Chase, we'd like to ask you to come to the microphone, please. Mr. Chase, let's start with 7A, our monthly financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Tonight's financial report is for operating results through November 2023. Just starting with the general fund, the year-to-date revenue collected was $56.9 million, and that's 30% of the amount estimated. The largest revenue item for the month was our state aid payment, which was $9.3 million. And for comparative purposes, we collected 28% of our estimated revenue last year. Year-to-date expenses in the general fund was $89.7 million, or 46% of the amount appropriated. And again, a prior year comparison, we were at 44% expended. So a little higher, running a little higher in expenses this year. We did have our retention pay was slightly higher this year than it has been in previous years, and so that's one of the reasons why we're running a little higher on expenses. Year-to-date food service revenue collected was $33.4 million, and that's 45% of the amount estimated. We served just over 136,000 reimbursable meals for the month, and that's about 32% increase over the prior year. And the revenue that we're showing there, that it can be further broken down, where we collected $1.2 million from students through either their lunch sales or a la carte sales. We had supply chain assistance of $205,000 and $1.9 million in our federal reimbursements. And so for prior year comparison, we were at 41% collected. Food service expenditures for year to date was $3.9 million, or 42% of the amount appropriated. And again, for comparative purposes, last year we were at 30%, and we're serving more meals, had a little more normal food service operations coming out of the coronavirus pandemic, so that's why expenses are running a little higher. And finally, in the debt service fund, year-to-date revenue was $3.9 million, or 7% of the amount estimated. We will not start really collecting a lot of revenue in this fund until December, January, which is when our tax collections come in. So next month we'll have quite a bit of revenue that we'll have collected when we report that to you. Prior year comparison, we were at 5% collected. And then year-to-date expenditures in the debt service funds is $31.1 million, or 58% of the amount appropriated. The prior year comparison is 60%, so running pretty much where we expect to be this time of year in the debt service fund. And so finally, the cash and investments on hand for November in the general fund, food service, debt service, and capital projects was $379 million. Almost 80% of that was in our capital project funds, funding the construction projects that we currently have underway. And that's the financial report. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. Moving on to board self-evaluation then. Moving on to the Board of Self-Evaluation, 7B. Our board does this annually. They take time to evaluate ourselves, how we can improve as a board. And I want to thank each person for participation and the comments and that you made on this evaluation. We continue to strive as we continue to lead our community, and I want to thank you all for that. I did like to mention a few comments that I gathered from your notes. Some of the board members made. One, they said, we've provided tools and resources for the administration and staff to grow themselves, others, and plan effectively for our future. This increase in salaries will help maintain quality employees. Another board member put, I think the fact that other districts look to us to be a model is a testament to the caring heart, fortitude, and courage of our administration, staff, and the superintendent. So there were a lot of great comments. I thank you, board members, for sharing your thoughts as we continue to improve on that each year. Then moving on to 7C, our semi-annual district update. Dr. Judy Weber, Chief Learning Officer, if you would come to the microphone, please.
Mr. Ferris and school board members, it's always an honor to stand here and really represent the table full of people behind me and many, many others throughout the district. We try to sum up what we've done in the last 6 months in a short video, but it's just a fraction of all the things that really go on, and I think you saw so much of it tonight in the students and the families and the community that was honored. So we have a short video for you to watch.
Happy New Year. It's time to look back at what we've accomplished over the last 6 months and look forward to what's ahead in 2024. As always, we are working hard to ensure our projects align with our board goals and district values. Here's the major highlights from the last 6 months. Thank you to our community for overwhelmingly voting to pass a successful school funding referendum in November 2023 that will provide much needed additional funding to support our students and staff. The district received an A rating for superior achievement under the Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas in August 2023. The Superior Achievement Rating is the state's highest financial rating, which further demonstrates the quality of the district's financial management and reporting system. The district had a general fund unassigned fund balance of $45.5 million at the end of fiscal year 2023. This represents 3.5 months of operating expenses and exceeds the board's stated goal of having a fund balance equal to 2 months of operating expenses. We've also received an unmodified or clean audit opinion on the accuracy of our financial information for the 2023 fiscal year. The Advanced Academics and Fine Arts Academy programs have moved up to the 5th grade at Smith Intermediate School. Additional students were added to the cohort that moved up from Blackburn Elementary. We have introduced guitar to 5th graders as our second musical instrument and created a new core class that blends reading, writing, and social studies called Humanities. Since August, we've had over 600 kids in our water safety classes at the Aquatic Center. Our staff has seen 2nd graders from Blackburn, Claiborne, Criswell, Crosby, and Dewberry Elementaries. We're looking forward to many more kids in the water learning water safety techniques as the school year progresses. The North Forney boys water polo team clinched playoffs for the first time in school history. The Forney girls water polo team clinched playoffs, doing it for the first time in school history as well. Both North Forney and Forney football teams had successful playoff runs, with North Forney winning their first 6A playoff game in school history. North Forney were 6A by district champs, and Forney High were 5A area champs, making it to the state semifinals. Forney volleyball reached the regional quarterfinals before losing to eventual state champion Lovejoy. Forney High's Jane Salgado placed 35th at the state cross-country meet. Integrating the Evolve weapons detection system has been a great success, avoiding long lines while ensuring safety at Citibank Stadium for our athletic events. The OC was open fully staffed with security officers positioned at each entry, trained to greet visitors as well as operate the Evolve weapon screening system. Forney ISD Health Services continues to be the only free vaccine provider for all school-required vaccine administration in the county. We've helped not only Forney students, but all surrounding school districts get students in school and compliant with state-required vaccines. Health Services and our nurses have developed and hosted the first collaborative group meeting for the school nurse leaders in all of Kaufman County ISDs and beyond. Forney ISD Transportation has become a third-party testing site with the Department of Public Safety while serving our students daily. And with the opening of the OC, Transportation is running 61 daily shuttles for our CTE programs compared to only 31 last year. We've moved to a new Chromebook replacement plan where we replace 50% of our devices every 2 years. This keeps us on a 4-year life cycle of our devices, and we've just completed an order for 13,000 devices. We've been busy building. The 9th grade centers just opened, and we're preparing to open Wilson Elementary, Jones Intermediate, Warren Middle, and Teamer Middle all next fall. Our Forney ISD Police Department is growing and hiring. With the recent passage of the school funding referendum, we are striving towards a 1-to-1 campus coverage by offering competitive pay and lateral entry opportunities for experienced officers. Forney OC Autotech students participated in the 23rd annual Jesse B. Lozano Automotive Technology Championship at Georgetown High School in November. This competition was designed to assess students' knowledge and ability with ASE written tests, hands-on skills, and parts identification stations. And despite being first-year students, all 4 Forney students achieved perfect scores in the AC diagnosis and repair station. The local cafe had a fantastic soft opening for our first quarterly dinner service, and our OC cosmetology students had a successful soft opening, serving 74 clients with more salon days coming each month. We have created our first Texas Association of Future Educator Students organization and had 8 students advance to state from their first competition. The business and marketing classes have opened their first pop-ups in early December and have currently sold more than 150 student-designed items. In real life, grades 5 through 8 have completed or are completing their state-required bullying curriculum implementation. The communications department ran several public relations campaigns, including the informational campaign for the school funding referendum, back-to-school communications, principal profiles, and social media videos to increase our presence on other platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. Esports was introduced to our elementary students this fall by the Office of Student Engagement and was met with great enthusiasm. Each of our elementary campuses hosted 3 on-campus meets for students in 1st through 4th grade to compete in Super Smash Bros. And Mario Kart. Esports is now offered to all students throughout the district. The district launched a new website over the summer. We've also implemented a new and secure online record system, Just FOIA, to streamline the public information requests. As part of our community partnerships, we held several workshops for PTO and booster support, collected over 18,000 items for Pack the Pantry, and served about 1,000 angels through the Angel Tree program. Opportunity Central's business partnerships have expanded to include Oat Salon, Stay Golden Gifts, Artisan Market, and Printer Texas. Several student-operated spaces were announced this spring to include an esports lab, a student art gallery, and a rentable photography studio. The Forney Education Foundation proposed to sponsor the OC Makerspace named Assembly Required. This space will be equipped with the latest machinery and design tools to inspire users to experiment and create. Rounding out the possibilities for edutainment at the OC, Forney students will also assist in the operations of Novus Escape Room and computer coding by Code Ninjas. The Leadership Development Team was formed in the fall of 2023. This year, our district leadership meetings have been built to include not only an update from Dr. Terry as a standing agenda item, but also a time for district and campus leaders to collaborate and grow both personally and professionally. Each month, we focus on a different area of an ongoing book study that centers around the one thing for each grade level. This year, we kicked off a new communication piece for campus leaders called Leadership Engage that goes out on Friday mornings. It follows the Excel model and includes any specific action steps needed, along with who to contact in case of those questions. We've just wrapped up the 2023 Leadership Academy, which included a district cohort for aspiring administrators as well as master teachers. In January, we will kick off the beginning of the 2024 Leadership Academy. We're so proud of what we've accomplished over not just the last 6 months, but the last several years. This spring, as we continue to celebrate Forney ISD's 125th year, we are looking forward to what the future holds for Forney ISD and all of our Forney family.
As you can see, under Dr. Terry's leadership, we have accomplished a great deal in the last 6 months. We have a lot of great things planned as we finish out this school year, not only for academic success for our students, But as you can see, a lot of opportunities for our students, for their career, and for everything we need to have well-rounded education and meet the 4 board goals. So get ready for a great finish to this year.
Thank you, Dr. Weber. And moving on to item D, our master planning update, Ms. Kim Morzak, Chief Operations Officer, and her guests.
Just me? Just me tonight. Jeff Fisher was unable to attend, so I'm going to run through the master planning report and walk through all of our current projects. We'll start with Keithville Opportunity Central. As you can see, the entire building is now open, but we're still kind of finishing a few things around the building, including a few things in here, like some power. The parking lot is close to completion. The security camera installation is close to completion. We're bringing a few more doors online at this time. They're almost done with the floor in the arena. They have about a week and a half left on the bleachers here in this area, and then we have to finish commissioning the audio in here. Partner eatery finish outs are in progress. We've punched the building, and punch items are now being worked through, and then final clean. So real close to the home stretch here at the OC. Next are our 2 freshman centers. They're also open. For the most part, the buildings are complete. We do have elevator issues at both campuses. Just keep getting pushed off on parts, and not all the parts were delivered for the elevators, so we are getting those working as quickly as possible. They're running through the punch list there, but kids are in there, and happy to report that Forney High School had the best drop-off and pickup times in the history of Forney High School. So we don't have traffic out on College anymore on the highway, and they're getting in and out in like 12 minutes, so super good news there. North Forney Phase 2, that was North Forney High School. This is North Forney Phase 2. You can see the elevator shaft if you drive out there going up. The bleachers, that's inside the arena. The steel is up for those. They poured most of the concrete, moving along really well there. A lot of great progress. Forney High expansion's in the exact same place as North Forney. It's a really cool picture at the top of their cafeterias. If you haven't seen those came out really, really nicely. Forney High School Phase 2, the concrete retaining walls, ramps, and planar walls are in progress. Site concrete pours are in progress. A little slow this week and last week from all the rain. It's put a little bit of a pause on things. But the underdeck insulation is complete. Perimeter walls, interior walls, and elevator shaft are all in progress. And then the steel erection is about to start back up. They'll start swinging steel out there this week, if not next week, weather permitting once again. Today did not help. Teamer Middle School, if you have not driven by those schools, they're starting to take really nice shape. I wish we had a picture of the front entry because it looks really cool at both Teamer and Warren. The brick and stone veneer insulation has started. Taping and bedding interior has started. Wall tile installation's in progress. Pretty much, obviously the whole building's in different phases in progress, but coming along really, really nicely at both Teamer and Warren. Warren, they kind of fight to see who's winning. I think they're pretty much about the same shape at Teamer and Warren. Then Ed Wilson is also moving along really, really nicely. ICF's in, the concrete paving is complete. I'll show you the road here in a second out there. Almost done with the utility installations, curb grading and backfilling's in progress now. Almost done with the storm shelter masonry. Most of the ICF is completed. Pop-up roofs, which are those little pop-ups on the kind of close over to the patio, are in progress. And a lot of the interior work's in progress. Making great progress there at Ed Wilson as well. And then this is the road out, the expansion of innovation out to Ed Wilson. The road's pretty much done. They're working on sidewalks and storm drain stuff at this point. So that is the master planning. Oh, sorry, Ray. This one I forget about sometimes, but bus turnaround, final grade is in progress there. Water storm and sanitary sewer tie-ins are in progress. Are complete. Building pad and building pier layouts in progress. Fire lane is in progress, and then the concrete installation and pier layouts are in progress for the for the new expansion. So any questions on any of the projects at this time?
I hear none. Thank you, Kim. Appreciate the update tonight. Moving on to item E, then, our safety audit report. Chief Sanders, Forney ISD Chief of Police.
Thank you, President Ferris, Board. Appreciate your time tonight, Dr. Terry. So first, I'm going to wear glasses. This shows my age. If this was Six Flags, 1 or 2 years difference would win you a prize tonight, but this is the first for me, so I'm humbled in front of you to use glasses for the first time ever. I'm going to read a prepared statement for you tonight. As soon as we're finished with this tonight, I'll present it to the Texas School Safety Center, and we'll be within regulations of what they ask us to do. So the top priority of the Forney Independent School District in the state of Texas is keeping students and staff safe every day. The Texas School Safety Center recently conducted an intruder detection audit at one or more of our campuses. The audits test whether the campus is accessible to an unauthorized individual. This audit, conducted as a part of Governor Abbott's school safety directives for all school systems following the tragedy in Uvalde, seeks to help districts identify how campuses can improve safety for students, such as ensuring exterior doors are locked. The audit provides us with an opportunity to create a safer learning environment for all of our students and staff. We are working closely with our district school safety and security committee to ensure that we are training all of our staff and securing our doors for the protection of everyone at our campuses. The support from the state in conducting the intruder detection audit is just one of the many actions we are taking to ensure our schools are safe. We know that this work does not end, and we appreciate the board's support. We acknowledge that parents and community members are likely very interested in the details of the audit's results. However, in the best interest of the students, we are not going to share this information to the broader public, as it could lead to compromising important campus security information. Specific details of the intruder detection audit were discussed earlier this evening in executive session and with the district's Safety and Security Committee earlier last week. The Forney Independent School District is committed to providing a safe and secure learning environment for our students and staff, and I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Sanders, and for all the things you and your team do. Moving on then to item 8, public forum. No one's signed up to address the board, so we'll move on to item 9, consent agenda. 9A is approve the minutes from December 4th, 2023. 9B, approve the budget amendments. 9C, approve the final reading of 25-26 school calendar. 9D, approve the purchase of police radios from Motorola. 9E, approve purchase of online student progress assessment tool. And 9F, approve the AIA for Phase 2 of the OC. The board may take these individually or collectively. Do I have a motion from the board?
Mr. Ferris, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented collectively.
Have a motion from Ms. Bateman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Mudia? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. So moved. Moving on to item 10, consideration and possible approval of a policy update 122 as a first reading. Mr. Rick Gear, Chief of Human Services, will present.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Dr. Terry, School Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to present to you Update 122 tonight as a first reading. The revision to CQB local was prompted by Senate Bill 271, which extends security breach notifications to be identified also as security incidents. The definition of a security incident is a breach or suspected breach of system security as defined by the Business and Commerce Code and the introduction of ransomware as defined by the Penal Code into a computer network, or computer system. A new policy has been added to the policy manual as CSA Local. It is offered to comply with the current administrative code rules that require board policy to address audits of the building access control. As I might want to reference, I believe in policy it mentions as a minimum once a week, and our practice has been daily audits. Prior to the 88th legislative session, bus drivers in school districts located in counties with population of less than 35,000 were exempt from the state's nepotism laws. House Bill 1789 expands this exception to allow any school district, regardless of county population, to hire bus drivers if the board improves employment. At DC Local, a note has been added referring to DBE Legal, which addresses nepotism. What this means is that we're going to be recruiting all your relatives to drive buses, and we're allowed to do that now. So Drew's up first, Mr. Johnson.
You hadn't driven with it.
Tell Bobby you got a new gig.
New text at EHB Local is in response to House Bill 3928, which requires the board to adopt and implement a policy requiring the district to comply with all rules and standards adopted by the State Board of Education and guidance published by the Commissioner to implement the program to test students for dyslexia and related disorders. The provisions on accelerated instruction are moving from EHBC Local, which is actually being deleted, and it's moving over to EHBCA Local. Several revisions have been made to this policy in response to House Bill 1416. Recommended changes to this local policy reflect that a parent's ability to request a particular teacher after a student fails to perform satisfactorily on a state assessment is no longer limited to students in grades 3, 5, and 8. Other changes now remove references to the Accelerated Learning Committee, which has been eliminated. A district must now develop an accelerated learning plan for certain students. That process about the parents requesting for that additional accelerated learning plan based off the student's failure to pass two assessments in a row is we're working on some administrative regs right now with our attorneys for the implementation of that. A conforming change has also been made at FL Local. I'm going to go ahead and add that one in here to now reference the learning plan as part of the education records. Policy FEA Local includes a provision permitting a district to excuse student absences for visits to the professional's workplace to explore a career in that professional field. Senate Bill 68 created this optional excused absence. This would permit students to miss up to 2 days their junior year and 2 days in their senior year to explore this possibility. And that's the maximum number allowed by law. Recommended revisions to the provision on opioid antagonists are based off Senate Bill 629, which requires the district to have at least one person who is authorized and trained to administer the medication present during regular school hours on each campus that serves grades 6 through 12. Our current language that we've recommended to you includes all grade levels. And unless you want us to reconsider that, we thought that was the best practice, that we have someone trained, have the medication available on every campus. But if you chose otherwise, we can make that adjustment. At FFB Local, new provisions from House Bill 3 have been added to require each campus to establish a clear process for students to report concerning behavior by another student. I'm very proud to say that we already have that in place. Another additional component of this policy now does say that to meet the requirements, a new provision allows employees to make reports and keep their identities confidential. If there aren't any questions about the first reading on this, any clarifying that I can provide?
Thank you, Mr. Gear. Appreciate that very much. Ms. Elsie, if you would please move this forward and add to the consent agenda for the next meeting. We move on to item number 11, consideration possible approval of action regarding employment and employee policies in accordance with Senate Bill 763. Mr. Gear.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. During the 88th legislative session, Senate Bill 763 was passed requiring the board to take a record vote on how the district will implement the law that could authorize the district to employ or accept as a volunteer a chaplain to provide specific services as outlined by the board. I want to just pause for just a minute and just kind of just share with you how blessed we feel as a district for us to have such strong partnerships with our local churches and pastors. From the first day of school and throughout the school year, they work in conjunction with our principals and our district leadership to provide support for our students and staff through a multitude of different avenues. So, with that being said, it is the district's recommendation that in accordance with Texas Education Code 23.001 and Senate Bill 763, that we reaffirm the district's current practice of permitting chaplains and other faith-based or religiously affiliated persons to apply for existing employment or volunteer opportunities within the district according with our current policies, the DC local and GKG legal. What this means is it results in no change in our current hiring practices. Forney ISD will continue to promote non-discrimination as required by law. Forney ISD does not discriminate against any employee, a volunteer, or applicant for employment because of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, age, disability, or any other basic prohibiting anything by law.
Thank you, Mr. Gear. Dr. Terry, you have any further comments?
We are extremely proud of the partnerships and the processes and that we have had in place. We have a great volunteerism by a lot of our community churches and others, service organizations, and so I would recommend taking action tonight to reaffirm our current practices when it comes to employment as well as volunteerism as Mr. Gear presented.
Thank you both for sharing. To have a motion from the board.
President Ferris, I make a motion to approve the action regarding employment and volunteer policies in accordance with SB 763.
I have a motion from Scott Regan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Dobbs? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. Moving on to item 12, consideration possible approval of the annual 2024 financial audit engagement. Mr. Chase.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. As the board's aware, we have to have our financial records audited every year by an independent auditor. About 2 years ago now, I guess it was, we accepted qualifications from several audit firms and had finally approved Weaver and Tidwell to do our audit. They have done that audit for the last 2 years. This would be the third year if we should choose to award them that engagement. It's been by practice and board desire to rotate that firm out every 5 years, and so this again would be the third year for this firm to do our financial audit. So I think it would be acceptable to go ahead and allow them to do that again. The audit fee is $50,900. That's about $1,400 more than it was this past year. It's 2.8% increase, and so that's fairly reasonable, I think. So if there's not any questions or concerns about that, our recommendation would be to award the audit engagement to Weaver and Tidwell again for the upcoming audit.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. Dr. Terry?
Yeah, Weaver Tidwell's done a good job for us the last 3 years. That was a change and worked well with our staff. John, I appreciate your hard work in integrating that in. This is the third year. We would recommend continuing that practice of a reevaluation at 5 years unless we have issues until then. So at this time, we'd recommend approving Weaver Tidwell for another year of audit.
Board, you've heard the recommendation. Can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Ferris, I make the motion to approve the annual 2024 financial audit engagement as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Bateman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Chubb. Mr. Johnson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. So moved. Moving on to item 13, consideration and possible approval of FFE for Clay Jones Intermediate. Mr. John Chase.
We're currently planning the furniture, equipment, technology purchases for Jones Intermediate School when it opens next fall. Our original furniture and equipment plan, the project included $203,000 and a little over $203,000 in that line item. After we further considered this, we'd really like to replace all of the furniture in that facility when it opens up, and to have the innovative furniture that's our standard now. And so, in order to do that, and to increase the budget to $2 million, that would help us accomplish that. As the board memo had pointed out, we've collected lots of interest in these bond funds since the project started, about $2.7 million. That we ought to appropriate part of that for arbitrage payments in the future, but certainly taking $2 million or $1.8 million out of those proceeds would be acceptable, and if the board chooses to do that. Now, just like in past projects, we've asked for a authorization to purchase this furniture on a not-to-exceed basis. We have a local policy that requires the board to approve $100,000 purchases, anything over that, and we anticipate that some of these purchases for any single vendor would go over $100,000. And so, in order to expedite the purchasing process, again, we would ask that you grant us the authority to make purchases not to exceed the $2 million if you approve that budget tonight. So, our recommendation is, again, that you would increase the Jones Intermediate School furniture, fixture, and technology budget to $2 million and grant us the authority not to exceed $2 million to make purchases as needed.
Okay, board, you've heard the details from Mr. Chase, Dr. Terry.
A lot of the equipment, just to add on to what Mr. Chase said, that is in the current Warren Elementary is very much aging. A lot of that is falling apart, and so this is also an opportunity to replace some of those older furniture items instead of having to add that in the future. So we'd recommend approving the not to exceed amount of $1.8 million for FF&E at Clay Jones.
Just to clarify, we
$2 million, just to clarify, sorry.
Thank you.
Increasing the budget to 2, correct.
Board, you've heard a motion.
Mr. Ferris, I would move that we approve the increase of the Clay Jones Intermediate furniture budget to $2 million and grant authorization for the administration to purchase that furniture on a not-to-exceed basis.
I have a motion by Mr. Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Bateman? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. Next is item 14, closed session. Item 14A is consultation with our attorney, Texas Government Code 551071. 14B, consultation with attorney regarding legal issues related to potential sale or lease or purchase of real property under Texas Government Code 551071. 9C, deliberation regarding potential sale of lease and purchase of real property, Coffin County, Texas, pursuant to Texas Government Code sections 551072. And then 14F, deliberation regarding the superintendent's summative evaluation and contract pursuant to Texas Government Code 551074, personnel matters. At this time, we'll go into closed session. It is now 8:28 p.m. Okay, we'll call this meeting back to open forum, and we are now back in here, and it is 10:11. And item number 15, consideration of possible approval to declare as a surplus only of approximately 50 acres of real property in the Juan Lopez survey, abstract number 286, abstract 2, Opportunity Central, being a portion of Coffin CAD ID 9221, Forney, Texas, and authorize the administration to advertise the property for sale by sealed bid. Do I have a motion from the board?
President Ferris, I move that the board declare as surplus and authorize the superintendent to publish notice of the district's intent to sell the surface only of the district's real property, described as being the surface only of approximately 50 acres out of the Juan Lopez survey, abstract number 286, Forney, Texas, adjacent to Opportunity Central, being a portion of Coffee Cat, ID 9221, pursuant to Texas Local Government Code Section 272-1001, to receive and publicly open bids and to present the bids to the Board of Trustees for final action.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Burkholder? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. It is approved. Moving on to item 16, consideration of possible approval regarding employment of professional contract personnel. What's the motion from the board?
Mr. Ferris, I make a motion that the board approve the employment of professional contract personnel as discussed in closed session.
Thank you, Ms. Bacon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Dobbs? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. Item 17, consideration of possible action regarding the pursuant of the same Central Educated Abandonment Contract. Do I have a motion from the board?
Mr. Ferris, I move the board find that no good cause existed for Joshua Siemens to abandon his contract with Forney ISD and authorize the superintendent to take necessary action to report him to SBCTEA for review.
Have a motion, Mr. Johnson. Do I have a second from the board?
Second.
Ms. Bacon, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then item 18, consideration of possible action regarding the superintendent's sales evaluation extension for modification of superintendent's term contract. Do I have a motion from the board?
Mr. Ferris, I move to amend the superintendent's employment contract as discussed in closed session, including extending the current contract term and authorizing the board president to negotiate and execute an amended contract as discussed in closed session.
Thank you, Ms. Bacon. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And hearing none. Congratulations, Dr. Terry. We have number 19. I'll let you wrap up the announcements here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, board. I will be very brief since we've talked about all these. Just as a reminder, February 2nd is the OC grand opening. So mark it down. That'll be a full evening event. Tickets are on sale for that event. Very cheap tickets, but tickets are on sale. There's no seats.
Just to clarify, the board didn't separate invitations. Someone asked me tonight.
The board will get separate invitations, yes, sir, and we will clarify the question also that was posed. And then we also have a board meeting coming up on February 5th. Outside of that, let's pray for good weather coming up.
Yeah, please take note of the dates listed here and watch your emails. If there's nothing else, we'll call this meeting adjourned at 10:15 p.m.